Hello people, welcome to a video on what I expect to be the weapons that will be in Battlefield 1. Considering that it's World War 1 based, I went and did some research, looked up what different factions used during the war and limitations and stuff like that, general knowledge. There is obviously going to be stuff that I'm going to miss off because you know, it's just my research here, and nothing special. I don't have some archives chilling in my room, like browsing through them, that I can just, you know, look through. So let's get started with the French. I'm gonna miss out some of the stuff. There's like the M93 Lebel and the 0715 Lebel. The M93 Lebel was a 9-round tubular mag, which meant you had to kind of slip in each bullet one after the other, which was a pain in the backside, I can imagine. But it had 9 shots, which was pretty rare at the beginning of the war, and even throughout the war, it was a pretty solid amount of bullets to have. They were very long barrels, so I don't know if they're gonna implement that into the game. I don't know, with the trenches, make it so your movements limited with these longer barrels, like slow you down or something like that, just so that they simulate the realism of having a long barrel. The reason for them was just because they still thought that soldiers were going to line up in 2 lines, and then the soldiers behind them were going to shoot through that line, so that you didn't rely on your own aim and not to hit the guy in front of you. You just poked your weapon through the middle, which is probably very useful. The Berthet had 2 models. I think the model 14 or something, model 16, something like that. One was a 5-shot, one was a 3-shot. They both had end block clips, which are just like a small kind of metal clip that you whack in, that just you have to load your ammo into, and it pops out the bottom, which was proved to be a problem because it got muddy and clogged your gun up and stuff like that. The model 16, as I said, was a 5-shot, so it was probably going to be more likely to be in the game, because who wants a 3-shot weapon? Let's just be honest. They were very easy to manufacture, so they were very prevalent in the war, so it would be a pretty bad weapon to miss out. The pistols, the 1892 revolver was an 8mm single and double action. Double action just means when you pull the trigger, the bolt goes back, and single doesn't. You have to pull the bolt back yourself. The Ruby was a very cheap weapon produced by Spain, a semi-automatic pistol. The mags only fit the gun they came with, so you know, you got to hold on to that mag quite well. Don't know if they'll implement that in a way like you only get 1 mag with the pistol. You got to rely on your primary, or something they could give to like tank drivers or pilots, because I've heard they are going to make it so you spawn as a pilot, so you don't have like suddenly jump out your tank and you got like full military gear, like, and a GUA and a pistol. The Germans, as I just said, they had the GUA 88, the GUA 98, and the GUA 8805. The 88 was the original one, which is basically a Mauser. It was a smokeless weapon. It was a 5-shot and was actually due to its unique barrel design, where the barrel actually it floated almost above the grip. It meant that when the barrel expands, it doesn't get extra pressure put on it by the grip on the weapon. Because with some of the British ones and French ones, when the pressure started coming on the barrel, it meant that after like 5 or so shots, your barrel is really hot, and the gases behave differently when the barrel is being put under added pressure. This pressure then means that your sight's not going to really be accurate after a while. I don't know if they would implement that kind of stuff into the game, or whether they would just kind of ignore it, but it would be pretty cool factor, I think, if like after say 10 shots with bolt action you started losing accuracy. I mean, it's Battlefield, they could implement that really easily. GUA 98 was apparently a lot better. It was used throughout World War II, the whole pretty much of World War II. Had pretty dodgy iron sights. they just weren't very nice. They restricted your field of vision and not the most ideal things. It was the first weapon to use a stripper clip though, which is like just a small sheet of metal you whack your bullets onto, and well, it comes with the bullets on it, and you just pop the bullets in just in one go really quickly. It's basically just keeps them in place while you put them in, and then you just discard that, and there you go, you've loaded your weapon nice and easily. The Guwa AA-05 was given to the Ottoman Empire. It was just a refurbished Guwa 88 with some of the 98 features, so it wasn't anything special, but the Germans just gave it to them because, well, they needed an ally and they needed some guns, so give them the Guwa 88s. Kar 98 was in, it was in World at War, so I mean, why not make an appearance in Battlefield 1? Probably going to be a sniper. I think it's like 6 or 8 shot, or 9, I'm not really 100% sure. It was really accurate long range, 200 to 300 meters, somewhere along those lines, and you would probably kill somebody. Very similar to the Guwa 98, just slight changes along the way to make it a bit better. The Guwa actually turned into a semi-automatic, I believe. It kept the same name, but it was just a different variant. It was still called the Guwa though. The pistols they had was the Mauser G96, which was a semi-automatic 10 round 9mm pistol. It did use the stripper clip, but also had really high recoil because of how high the barrel was, I believe, to where your wrist lies. So it means the turning effect on your wrist is a lot higher than with a pistol where the barrel is a lot lower down. It was just all to do with the design, fitting in enough bullets. It did come with a stock though, so that you had 3 points of contact. Just means your shoulders on it, your right hand, left hands are on it, instead of just having your right hand on it. Just made it a bit more usable. They had a Luger P08 and LP08. LP08 just had a longer stock, a longer barrel, and also came with a snail mag, apparently is what people referred to it as. Had 32 rounds, reload took a while, but you could clear out a trench with your couple buddies with one of these on you, and not have to reload because, well, face it, people used to do it with a bow action, why not with a 32 round pistol. The P08 had a short barrel, a bit less accurate, but still as deadly. Still a 9mm, but had a box mag, which is the kind of mag you would have on a Glock. The mountain machine guns they had was the MG08, which was the German one, which was 600 rounds per minute, and had a 250 round belt. Probably gonna just have unlimited ammo, I'd assume, in the game, and they're just gonna be a mountain machine gun. Or maybe like the Juggernaut suit you kind of see in the trailer. It's probably, I believe he uses an MG08. The British had a Vickers machine gun. Both these were usually a 4 to 8 man crew, so kind of solidifying the fact that it's not going to be a personal weapon. Vickers machine guns were apparently very reliable. Believed to have been used for 12 hours straight at the Battle of the Somme, and this was 10 of them, so pretty reliable weapon. The Lewis gun was a British weapon, 550 rounds per minute, I believe, and had a 47 round mag, which is literally just a round magazine on the top of the weapon. Apparently very reliable, and eventually outnumbered, I think, the Vickers machine gun by the end of the war. That's in the trailer actually, so that's pretty much a confirmed weapon to be brought out. They also, I believe, had the MP18. Don't know who used that, but I assume it's probably going to be a universal weapon that either side will probably be able to use. So will the trench gun, I assume. Haven't really got much info on those. Don't really know how fast they shot or anything like that. The British had the Lee Enfield as their standard rifle of choice. It was a short rifle, which is something they caught on to pretty quickly, that you didn't need a long barrel anymore. 10 round mags, and there's bolt action, which was pretty common for the day. Not sure they're going to play this out, whether they're going to try get some more modern weapons, less bolt actions into the game. Maybe there's some more prototypes. I might have a look, see if there's a couple more prototypes that they might try slip into the game. They had the British Bulldog, which was a small little stubby kind of pistol, a bit like the Black Ops 1 Python when you cut the barrel off and made it a sure weapon. Probably how they're going to work this out. Considering the British actually made one of the first tanks, the Germans didn't have one, so this is where another gun comes in, the Tiguer, which is seen in the trailer by a soldier holding it by one of the British tanks. So I assume it's going to be universally used. It's not going to just be used by the Germans. So I assume it's going to be a support class weapon. A lot of these weapons will probably be used by both sides. As was the case in the war, when they captured soldiers, they would just take the guns and modify them, using themselves if it was better than what they had. Pretty much whatever got goes, basically. It was an anti-tank weapon, 13.2mm, hardened steel core. There's videos on it on YouTube, people shooting it. It is a big ass weapon, really. If a person got hit by it, there would be no person really left, to be honest. So even if it hit you through a tank, you were still done for life. So yeah, you didn't want to get hit by one of them. Austro-Hungarians also had a couple weapons. They had the Stutzen, which was a short rifle. Not too sure on anything about it really. Just know it was a short rifle, probably about 3 or 5 rounds, and it wasn't amazing. On the other hand, the M1888, 90 and 95 were both very accurate weapons with a clip mag. They were very long range, about 200-300 meters, so probably another sniper that will be introduced into the game. That is pretty much all the kind of stuff I figured out from both the trailer and weapons that were mainly used by both forces. So I mean, feel free to suggest anything in the comments about what you reckon will be more likely to be used in the game. Of course, subscribe and all that kind of stuff. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, all that good stuff. Plan to do some more on like tanks and the aircraft and artillery, and just basically going over how everything goes, because I've always been pretty interested in World War I and World War II based stuff. It's always interested me, kind of guns and that kind of stuff. So probably do some reviews on all the weapons when it comes out. But for now, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Leave a comment. Do that right now. And peace.